How's it going? It's Time Pocket back with another video. Sorry if I don't sound great, I am fighting off a cold. But today I'm going to break down a fire trumpet beat I made and how you can make beats like it. So without further ado, let's just get straight into it. Alright, so as you can see, I already have the melody entirely laid out. I already have the beat entirely laid out, all the effects, everything I wish to do. I'm just going to break this beat down for today's video. I'm just using a Spitfire Labs preset. I felt like it fit pretty well. And here's the main melody pattern. Pretty basic and easy, I know. I basically just took one chord and added accent notes to it at the end. Oh, and what I mean by accent notes is accent chords, actually. I like the way the bounce kind of interacts with this type of melody. I just like the way it sounds afterwards. You can see this chord here is just pretty much a basic chord. All I really did is add the root note over an octave, which is just makes it have a more full sound, I don't know. I added higher octave notes to the trumpet chord just to kind of mix it up on later bars. It really keeps the listener from getting bored, in my opinion. I think you should do it a lot. I also switch up the chords that play after the main chord after every single melody just because I don't want it to get boring, I don't want it to get repetitive, and it just flows with the whole bounce of the beat, including the 808s later on well. Just a quick note, I really would take a lot of time on the last couple chords leading up to the beginning of the repeat of the melody again, just because that's the bars that's going to make the melody good or not. It's kind of determines whether a listener wants to keep listening to the beat. Next up, I added a piano that kind of goes from octave to octave with a repetitive strum pattern. I know it looks complicated, but all I did is take one chord and strum it down 2 octaves into a repetitive pattern that just kind of gets the flow well. Alt S is your friend in FL Studios. Make sure to strum all your stuff a lot. It really gives it a human feel. By the way, I am using the soft piano from Spitfire Labs. The piano kind of already has a human feel to itself because it's a little bit delayed when you play it. I made a quick trumpet pattern for the end of the melody. There's not really much to explain here, it's just a catchy couple of notes I put in the background of the melody. Next up, I used the same piano sound just to record a low piano for the intro of the song. I really only use this once during a song, but it's important. Here's all the melodies all together. Heading into the drums, first up we got the hi-hats. This is the Tri-Freeze Best ATL hi-hat. I'll put his IG and YouTube up on the screen so you guys can go check him out. What I did here is pretty simple. I just got all these rolls and stuff from a 2-step, and I just kind of worked my way up. Hi-hats like this, in my opinion, add a lot of bounce to songs, but some producers will say, oh no, you're using too many hi-hat rolls. Oh no, don't listen to them. Just do whatever you like your music to do. It'll work out in the end. As you can tell, I do use a lot of rolls in my hi-hats. I like the way it sounds. I like the way it kind of flows with the 808 and the clap and all that stuff. This roll up here is way easier than you think. I'm going to select the hi-hat, and I'm just going to click Alt-U and set it to whatever setting I want, and then I'm just going to diminish the velocity. It's really simple and it adds a lot of bounce to your beats. As you see, I have these low notes on my hi-hats, and it's literally just me taking a hi-hat and pitching it down a couple of octaves for that kind of rattly, echoey sound. I'll pitch a couple in the beat a little bit lower down, like a couple octaves more down, just for a little bit more low echo in the song. Okay, moving on, we have the clap now. Okay, honestly, this isn't even a clap, it's more of a snare, but I use it in almost every single beat. Here's the pattern for it right here. Honestly, nothing special, just your basic clap pattern. Next, we're going to move on to the 808s. 808s kind of make or break a song, so make sure to know what you're doing when you do these. Mainly with my 808s, it'll tend to be very simple at the beginning, and then it'll tend to get more complicated as the pattern goes along. Obviously, it's important to leave space in your 808s, say if an artist was going to rap over it, or artist was going to sing over it, just so the artist can have room, but I like to use a lot of things in my 808s, like higher octaves and rolls and all that stuff. Usually with my higher up 808s, I'll tend to give it a fade in effect by making the first 808 out of the two just a little bit down on the velocity, like make it a little bit quieter, just so it kind of hits harder. And also I can show you how to do this 808 roll pretty easily. The first step in how to do it is basically just take a normal 808 pattern or 808 note and just copy it over. Then I'm going to hold Control and drag over it just to select it. After that, I'm going to click Alt U and split it into 4, then I'm going to drag the final one over 2 just to make it in the middle of the bar. Adds a really nice bounce to the pattern at the end. With these two higher up notes, I made it kind of tension by having it go from one note to another note that are right next to each other on the scale. And for the ending of the 808 pattern, I just took the note I would have played in the roll and pitched it up a couple octaves. It gives it a nice transition into the beginning of the pattern again. Next up, we have a snare sound. This pattern is kind of simple but repetitive. I just had to fill space in the drums. I did not add a snare roll to this snare pattern at the end of the loop just because I wanted to have it for the next snare, which I will be showing. Here's the next snare pattern. For the most part, this snare pretty much just complements the hi-hats and the other snare pretty well. I did add a snare roll, which pretty much just bends the pitch and plays a lot of snares really quickly. If you're curious why I added a snare roll, it just kind of ends the whole thing nicely, and I like the way it sounds transitioning into the pattern again. Snare rolls are completely optional for every beat, but I just like the way they sound, so I use it in a good most of my beats. For the next sound, we have an open hat. I have it playing on a lot of the same notes as the 808 just to kind of boost the high end a little bit. Every couple of open hats, I also have a reverse open hat playing on the exact same time, just because it kind of makes the open hats a little bit more interesting. That's actually entirely it for the beat. I'll play it in a moment. First up, before I play the beat, I just would like to say, if you like what you see, definitely hit the subscribe button. Helps me a lot. Click the like, comment, whatever you want. I'll take requests, anything, all that stuff. Also follow my Twitch. I'm trying to hit 150 followers before the end of August. So with all that out of the way, I think it's just time to play the beat.